right now and do some comedy, and then we're going to take a little break, I think. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Calling all racists, haters and minstrels, calling the intolerant, the prejudiced and the ignorant, calling all cushy white folk with your money and your organ transplants and your shoes. Come forth to the South Yorkshire Metropolitan Police annual Get Sense Make Sense evening. PC Gone Mad will lead the session as usual, but this time it's a very special guest, Police Commissioner Tobin Dover. They will tackle the subject of hate straight on, as well as operating in a pincer fashion on the sides and taking it, inevitably, from behind. Gone Mad and Dover are experts in the field, and indeed in any field or crop situation. They have a lot of experience, which will be evident as they explain the dangers of hate and offer practical help in overcoming it. The main event of the evening will be Gone Mad's famous Try Not to Hate workshop. You will be shown pictures of things like trees and politicians, and as they are presented to you, you must try not to hate them. Commissioner Dover will be there, and he is going to hate each one of you in turn, so you can see how it really feels to be hated. You can watch while we deliver a standard police-issued anti-hate message to a blow-up doll representing an anti-fracking protester, and you must all try your best not to hate us in order to be allowed to leave. Please bring all your prejudices and children. We are confident you will be leaving without them. Please leave any birds of ambivalence at home, as these can interfere with the sensible process, which may be using wires and trapeze. No cheese! That was a poem, and now we do the comedy bit. You see, this is yeah, well, I mean, it's up to you. If you thought it was funny, then great. Like, don't worry. Like, you don't have to feel uncomfortable. So you can't smoke on stage. So I'm going to do my best to smoke on stage to make use of it. It'll inevitably go out, and then I'll put it down, and it'll be kind of a disappointment to everyone. Okay, so I haven't done any stand-up comedy in 2 years. And the reason for this hiatus is because I've been studying. But not, see, I've been studying the world around us, the world. This thing. And the problem, I haven't been studying at university. You see, the universities have this myth of specialisation. So you do an English literature course, then by the end of it you're like, okay, I'm interested in Scandinavian literature, and then you do a master's in Scandinavian literature from 1970 and 1975, and then you do your PhD in Havenbesset, York over Alban, and you argue how that was like the start of the feminist movement in Norway, and then someone, like God or someone, says, oh, well done, like, you've got the answer to that one, now you can go and teach other people in this circular fashion to become this kind of careerist academic. So I didn't do that. See, it's gone out now.
I'll have it.
I'll smoke that in a minute, don't you worry. Don't you worry. It's like, I did a course, like a day thing, like took some LSD, and it taught me that everything is connected. You know, we replicate these systems everywhere. We have ecosystems and societies and religions, and they're just reproductions of a greater connectedness. Like, you can't study something in isolation. So if you want to study a book, you want to study Harry Potter, you need to get the historical context of like how many books were written before Harry Potter that contained all the ideas that were in Harry Potter, and then you really need to look at copyright law, because I mean, like, why did she publish something that had already been published in several different things before, and then you should look at the psychology of why someone chooses to do that, and then you should really look at the chemical construction of her brain to see if that's really like a natural thing. And by this time you like stray into ethics, and if you're already thinking that like it's a bad thing to be ripping off millions of children, then like, you know, you should really have a conversion course in this psychedelics that I was talking about, because, you know, everything's connected anyway, so you shouldn't really worry about it. So you can't study one thing in isolation is the point. So I studied the world, and I did it on my own terms, in my own way, and it went really well. Yeah.
Guitar, pick up the disciplines of guitar still alive.
So I did what is known as doing a Wittgenstein, where you go to Norway for several years. But instead of doing philosophy, I did science, which is like philosophy for grown-ups. You know how you play with a toy kitchen when you're young? Well, when you grow up, you'll all get to play with a real kitchen. And so I use things like graphs, yeah, diagrams, statistics, like this one. Yeah? You like that one? Yeah, you have no idea what I'm talking about. And I bought a test tube. Yeah? Yeah? I did science, basically. I did science. I scienced. And what I came up with was... so I studied the world, and I made a paper called "The World Sucks," and this is like my findings. Like, it's the title of the paper as well. I got a few quotes, you know, it being a big thing and that. We've been saying this for years. Amnesty International. MSF said, for fuck's sake, no one will listen. And Brian Cox, who plays science, he's the actor who plays science on television. He said, Jupiter's moons are really, really big. So it went really well, yeah. And I got two things, like two really big, substantial things out of it that I want to show you. So this is a diagram of things against what they are. And you can see here this green line is a sucks line. So everything below the line sucks, and everything above the line doesn't suck. So there's a few illustrative points on here. So things that don't suck, tote bags. Tote bags, they don't suck, they're good, right? Yeah? Mario games, they don't suck, they're good, right? Nice clothes. Yeah? But you'll notice there's a lot more things that do suck, right? Already, we haven't even filled this in yet, you know? Homophobia. Sexism, they suck at a similar level down here. Being at work when it's sunny. Sucks, right? They're just above that, being at work. Being at work sucks, right? Fosters sucks, yeah? You know, like, it's alright, but it sucks, really. UKIP, below Fosters there. Darts sucks. Doing difficult things. See there? That sucks, right? It sucks. And then the world. Down there, the world sucks. That's the findings of the study. The world sucks. So yeah, this is the first thing I produced. And then the other thing that is interesting is this one. So this is what things are over time. And you can see the same sucks. So what you'll see is that as time has gone on, this is the world, hence the study, things have sucked more. And they've gone past being okay to sucking. It sucks. Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what point the world went between not sucking and then sucking?
1984.
Yesterday. Okay. Anyone else? No. Jesus. Jesus is the answer. Not because Jesus sucks. I mean, that's another study for someone to do with another sucks graph. But because, you know, at the time, lots of things sucked. I mean, you know, this is valuable research, this is. So, like, at the time, fucking bored and everything. At the time, back then, God was homophobic and sexist. They suck, right? As we've shown. Jesus, he was at work every day doing his shit. That sucks. And it was the Middle East, it's always sunny. That sucks even more, like being at work when it's sunny. He was always at work when it's sunny. Crucifixion, that sucks. The Romans, they suck. So you can see the point at which the world became, it started to suck. Yeah? Okay. So what I wanted to do, is illustrate, because I haven't done it in 2 years, so I haven't done this in 2 years, so illustrate things that have happened over the last 2 years that suck, to show you part of my research. So the thing is, can everyone close their eyes? Everyone close their eyes. I don't trust you, you're wearing sunglasses, so close your eyes. You're not closing your eyes, don't laugh at him. There's a trigger warning here that I'll talk about suicide in prisons. Now, don't worry, it's still close your eyes, it's still a comedy set, and there will not be any jokes, the butt of which are people who commit suicide in prisons or elsewhere. However, if you do not wish me to talk about this, you may raise your hand. You got your eyes closed? Raise your hand and I won't talk about it. And now, everybody, extend your arm in a random direction, carefully, so not to hurt anyone. Then extend your finger as if pointing. Do it, all of you. Yeah. And now open your eyes. And the person you're pointing at is now your partner for the rest of the day. And if you feel like they will make you feel safe. And like, if they're lost. If you feel scared, you know, hug them. If they're scared, hug them. And if you weren't pointing at anyone, then you're on your own. This is how life is. So anyway, the first thing I wanted to talk about, right? We'll start where all good American backpackers start, France. Now, France may well be on some of the lists of the worst places to be, like the one I made last night, which has France at the top. However, imagine it worse, right? So, you know there's this thing called French Tech, which is like a festival, except there are more dogs who have been killed because they've been smuggling drugs in their stomach lining. But there's mud and tents and music. But imagine the music is bro step. And imagine the mud is French mud. And imagine that your tent has been bulldozed, and in the dozing process, you have to share your tent with a friend who's great, but he's just into weird shit. And imagine you have big men in balaclavas shooting you and making you cry. Basically, in Calais, there is currently thousands of people being held against their will in conditions that make homeless in Hebden Bridge look like you own fucking Disneyland. And you may have heard it called the jungle because it's full of animals. But what you're thinking of is the actual jungle because the refugee camp in Calais is full of humans and people like you. So, this sucks, right?
Yeah.
It's on the suck graph.
Yeah.
So, for people who join late, this is the graph of things against what they are. And there's a line here for what sucks. So everything above it doesn't suck. But you'll notice we're building up a kind of idea that more things suck. Thus helping my thesis that the world sucks. You missed all this. It was great. Other people will tell you how good it was. But it's not just France, even though French people suck, the fact is, all people suck, except for Andy, who doesn't suck. You'll see him just above the line. But the rest of us do great at what I can write your name on if you want. But like, maybe afterwards. But it's not just French people, is the point. Let's think about what English people have done in France over the last 2 years. So last year, a group of English people stopped a black man from getting on a train. Now, let's all think it wasn't because he was black. Because who of any of us could possibly say that England is full of racists? But anyway, if you imagine the suck graph, the suck graph, there's at least a line of impoliteness, which it is under. It is what scientists would say, tending towards sucking. This year, English people also went to France, as they are wont to do. And they went to Lille and started a fight with the French riot police. Now, fights can be great because some people are dicks and they should be punched in the face, like Hitler or John Prescott or someone who kills foxes. But in this particular situation, this fight was about football. Now, this graph is modelled on Einstein's four-dimensional diagram. So, if the extra dimension we're adding to our graph is boring, the idea of starting a fight about football is so boring, it actually escapes, like time travel in Einstein's graph, into sad. Right? Yeah. So this sucks, right? On the suck graph. In August, 2 years ago, Richard Attenborough died. That sucks. He was someone who didn't suck, and then he died, which sucks. Early last year, Jeremy Clarkson was taken off of Top Gear. Now, imagine this like a film. Multimedia comedy.
You don't need the media. We can hear you.
So imagine it like a film where Jeremy Clarkson is played by Idris Elba.
Sexy.
Now, Jeremy Clarkson has a checkered past. A checkered past of being generally offensive. But he was given another chance by the man to speak to people about cars. But he's a bit of a maverick, you know? He doesn't play by the rules. He is generally racist and sexist and denies climate change. And the film goes that, like, you know, Princess Leia gives him a medal in the third act, and then at the end he is killed by buying oranges at an outdoor market and then shot by gangsters.
Yeah.
That's got a comeback, don't lose that. So, Jeremy Clarkson, he sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Right on.
I hate him. Right on.
And then, in 2015, MPs rejected our right to die in England and Wales. Kind of takes the wind out of your sails, doesn't it? Like, you're all walking around trying to accept death, get closer to death, but you have no right to die. If people want to die and you don't want them to die, you might try Netflix and ice cream, not legal proceedings. If you start imprisoning people who want to commit suicide, you're putting them in the place where it's most likely to happen. It's like punishing a kleptomaniac by putting them next to loads of pick and mix, which is somehow designed to be easy to steal. Like the prison system is somehow designed to oppress, stigmatize, brainwash, and then kill all of its inhabitants. That sucks, right? That sucks, yeah? And then in 2014, the previous year, we learned about the Rotherham child sexual exploitation scandal. Think of it like a film, where the South Yorkshire Metropolitan Police are played by Idris Elba, and they have a checkered past of gang violence at Orgreave and major incompetence at Hillsborough. But they get another chance. But they're mavericks. They don't play by the rules. They generally stigmatize people in lower classes, don't report things, and then cover up for their mistakes with paper shredders. And we all know how the film ends, getting shot at an outdoor orange stall. The South Yorkshire Metropolitan Police. They suck, right?
Yeah.
So in August last year, Cilla Black died. That sucks. Right there above UKIP. So, you see, the thing is,
We used to play it. We used to do it like a street. We just did it pretty good.
my studies show that in the future, things are likely to continue sucking until they sort of drop off the graph.
Touch it?
That's classified.
Need a paperweight.
So you see, no, it's fine. So you see, in the future, things will suck so much they will actually drop off the graph of being able to be measured.
Elmo! Elmo!
So, the point is you can already see the effects of this world-sucking hypothesis that I have. The intergalactic parasite, Tesco, has had loss of over 6 billion over the last couple of years. Their businesses are finding another host planet because we still have a conservative government, and all historical concordances show that the word conservative has never been used in a positive context. We now have an unelected conservative leader, but even she raised the threat level 2 years ago from substantial to severe, because being threatened, that sucks, right? No?
It's exciting.
I'll show you. But people like yourself still have hope. You can drive into this now. That Jeremy Corbyn will save you. Imagine it like a film where Idris Elba plays Jeremy Corbyn and he has a checkered past of supporting the IRA and such kind of militant fascist groups as Palestinians who have had their homes and land taken from them. And yet, he's a bit of a maverick. You know, he does things like not say stupid things and look like a Quentin Blake drawing. But we all know how it will end. He'll be shot at an outdoor orange stall. Possibly after having been given a medal by Princess Leia, possibly not. The point is, we've already seen people trying to get away. Last year, Scotland tried to have a referendum on leaving the world, but they failed because, as we saw before in another graph, people suck. So they didn't vote the right way. And this year, we voted to leave the world, but we didn't because some people were confused between the world and Europe. So it didn't work out. So what I'm offering is a place for a low cost on a prospective spaceship where there'll be in-flight meals and the Game of Thrones box sets on the headrest in the seat in front. And if you'd like a place on our spaceship Earth, then you can come and speak to me. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this seminar on how the world sucks. That's the solution, is leaving because of the graphs. Thank you for sitting here and listening. You can keep that if you want. It'll only be recycled. I think that's it. Does anyone else want to perform?